That's right, all power to the people. All power to all people. All right, up next we have Ryan from the Industrial Workers of the World, the Southern Colorado IWW. He's going to be talking about class warfare.
Hey, good afternoon, folks.
Good afternoon.
Thank you all for being here. My name is Ryan. I work in the road and bridge construction industry here in Colorado, and I'm speaking today from the Southern Colorado branch of the Industrial Workers of the World. The IWW was formed in 1905 following progress made by trade unionists in the late 1800s demanding rights and a collective autonomy in the workplace. Many of the rights that we enjoy today, like the 8-hour workday and having children not work in factories, were won by labor unions. But these rights were not won without hefty resistance from the ruling class. One of the most effective ways for the workers to protect their rights is to join a workers' union. The Industrial Workers of the World was originally formed to provide a place for radical workers to collectivize and to organize, being unique, because rather than acting as an entity for a single industry like the CWA or the IBEW, the IWW seeks to organize across industries and to unite the working class as a whole, forming one big union. One of our founders, Eugene Debs, said, "The man who seeks to arouse prejudice among workers is not their friend. He who advises the white wage worker to look down upon the black wage worker is the enemy of both." The employing class understands that the biggest threat to capital is the workers realizing their oppression and uniting as a class and engaging in a general strike. This is why the capitalist class resorts to distraction and division to keep the workers pitted against each other over trivial identity politics and silly rivalries. Historically, the working class has been wrought with division by the employing class as a way to divert revolutionary potential from working class movements and to weaken our bonds with those united in struggle. This is a basic example of what's known simply as class warfare. Back in the day of the foundation of the IWW, this war was waged on us workers by the employing class may have looked a little different, as striking workers may be beaten or killed by the police or other members of the government, but granted, this still happens occasionally when workers are forced to the front lines to protect their class interests, but class warfare in this country nowadays is rarely a militant struggle in the streets, but has evolved into something more sinister entirely. Today, class warfare looks like starvation wages. It looks like threatening workers with homelessness and hardship around every corner. If you take time off for illness, family matters, or bereavement, the capitalist treats you with little to no forgiveness or understanding of your circumstances. Our employers ask so much from us workers, and we receive pennies on the dollar in return. Class warfare looks like the average employee productivity skyrocketing for the last 30 years without sufficient wage increases to keep up. Neoliberal trickle-down economics have ruined this country and bastardized this idea of the American dream, where you can start with nothing and to make something of yourself through hard work and determination, into the dark reality where we all work ourselves to the point of exhaustion, and it isn't barely enough to keep a roof over our heads and food on the table. Our employers steal from us every single day, letting us make them more and more profits, only to be left out in the cold when they can find somebody that they can exploit more easily. Some folks work 2 or 3 jobs just to keep the lights on. One job should be enough, not just to survive, but to lead a healthful and balanced life, where we get to enjoy our families, have picnics with our romantic partners, where we can play cards with our friends in the park. We should be free to stop to smell the flowers without being reprimanded for interrupting productivity. Working class individuals deserve to be happy too. How do we get there? Well, one of the most common things to hear in leftist spaces is this concept of revolution. Many people treat this revolution as a grand event that we are all working towards, but I mean, if you look around you, the revolution is here, and it's been here for generations. All we have to do is to participate through collective direct action. Workers have been wrestling with this behemoth called capitalism since the days of feudalism, and now it's our turn to band together to join in this fight for liberation. The revolution is building powers in our communities through solidarity and support across industries. We start by building relationships and connections with our fellow humans. We start by showing up and lending support when our pals and our colleagues need us. We need the barbers showing up for the doctors. We need the tradespeople showing up for service workers. The performing artists showing up for the farmers, and the bud tenders showing up for the teachers. This is precisely the vision of the One Big Union. We must realize that we are in this together, united in struggle against class warfare that seeks to pit us against one another, members of our community, based on race and religion and political beliefs. But we must reject the short-sightedness of a system that prioritizes the instant gratification of profit and replace it with a system based in collaboration and sustainability. If the last year has taught us anything, it's that the world is changing and humanity itself is changing with it. We have the opportunity to step into a new world of equality, compassion, and freedom. So please, join me in the One Big Union so that we can get to work on our terms. We have a world to build. Thank you.